Okay, so we are 22 days out from the inaugural Nourish Leader Summit. How am I doing? Yeah, that's a great question. Anytime that you take a leap of faith, step out in courage, do something you've never done before, I tell you, and I'm going to tell you what I tell other leaders, there are no problems, just tensions. Seriously, I lead with that question. Is it a problem to be solved or is it a tension to be managed? And it's one of the most critical questions a leader can ask themselves, especially when the stakes are high and when um, you're feeling disoriented, you are stepping out of your comfort zone. Ultimately, as you get higher and higher in leadership, you do not see your view is not a it's not about problems. But when the stakes are high, everything feels like a problem. Everything feels like a problem. Case in point, right? The stakes are high. We are 22 days out. Tickets are not where we'd like them to be. I've got incredible people who are going to be on the panels. Um, Slowly but surely, keynote is being prepared. Things are falling into place, right? Not according to plan, because, well, best laid plans, but they're still falling into place. So I'm actually, there aren't any problems. It's just that we're at 22 days out and there are things that need to fall into place that I need to make sure I'm cognizant down. Um, but what makes this time extremely hard is not, and I realize this, is not that there are any problems or things aren't falling into place, even if they're not falling according to plan. But what makes it hard are the tensions that I have to manage within me. So yesterday, case in point, everything I wanted to do, every invite I wanted to send, every ask that I wanted to do or needed to do in order to support the fact that we are in the last 22 days before the Nourished Leader Summit makes its debut, I fully understood that what was happening was my brain was making an argument for everything. I mean, for everything, everything. And if anyone knows, the last thing you need to do is argue with yourself because it only makes the argument worse. And I don't know about you, but for some of us, like me, I actually go into freeze mode. I do absolutely nothing. I become avoidant. I start numbing, yada, yada, all the things that happen. Um, so, interestingly enough, what I started to do yesterday is I took a notebook and for every task that I needed to go do, I would write down, um, I would write down the argument that was presented to me. And again, these arguments are not untrue by no means, right? They're not lies. They might be distorted truths, which is even worse, quite frankly. I'd rather deal with a lie, but distorted truths are just something that, you know. And I said, I did the whole improv. Yes, and yes, and for every single task. I'm going to go invite this person. Well, they're not going to respond back to you. They haven't responded back in 8 days, da da da, yada yada. And I was like, yes, and I'm going to go and invite this person. Again, there's no problem. But what depletes me is, and most of us, is the mindset, right? The mindset, the voices in your head are the ones that deplete you. So, next time you are taking any courageous step and the voices in your head start to tell you, give you an argument, write it down. Just write it down. And then say, yes, and. And always ask yourself, especially when the stakes are high, there's disorientation, and maybe you don't know what that next step is. What's happening here? Is it a problem to be solved or a tension to be managed? If you have not accepted your invitation or received an invitation to the Nourish Leader Summit on October 9th here in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the lovely district of Noda, you need to go get that yesterday. Let me know. Reply back to this email. I'll be sure to get you in the door. Bye for now. Natalie, and I am a nourished leader.